I'm obsessed with taking 100,000 steps a day. I usually jog about 3.5 hours before I take a break. When it's time for my first break, I usually eat yogurt and blueberries. I just mix it in and I jog for about another 2.5, 3 hours, and I eat my second breakfast. And then I jog about another 3 hours when I eat my lunch. I absolutely wish I just had a catheter so I didn't have to stop jogging. Every 7.5 minutes, I change direction. Jogging has consumed my life. My brain is a tangle of an obsession of eating and food and calories. That's literally all I think about. Sitting here in this interview is giving me anxiety and making me wonder how many steps I'm missing and how many calories are going straight to my thighs.
You're really suffering with this. I don't think this is something that you do for attention. I don't think it's something that you do because it gives you some kind of sick payoff in a way that you are avoiding your marriage or avoiding something that you're actually kind of symbolically running away from your life. I don't think it's that direct, but I've thought about this a lot. I've been doing this a long time, and I've actually created an entire schematic of what I think's going on with you here. It's not very pretty because I don't have very good handwriting, but I want to talk to you about this because I don't think this is a puzzle at all. This lady walking 50 miles a day, you know, I get frustrated because I see people that suffer needlessly. That's what frustrates me, because nobody has really taken the time to break this down and figure this out for this woman. And she says she's been to 4 or 5 different docs, and they go, I don't know. Really? Seriously? I mean, does that seem reasonable? But it happens a lot, right? And they write scripts but I mean, when I looked at, and I did spend a fair amount of time on it, I admit I really do study these things. And I just, instead of I'd just written this out while I'm studying this. I'm writing things down, and it didn't look very nice, but I was just showing her how simple this is when you break it down. You know, she's got this early trauma in her life, and if you don't deal with those things, they're like open wounds. It's like you cut your leg and you got a gash and you just leave it open and just walk around the rest of your life. And it just oozes and gets infected, and it's just terrible. And that's what happens when you get sexually molested and then sexually assaulted and abused. This changes who you are. It's not something that happens and is over. It changes who you are. It affects the way you see yourself. It affects the way you see the world. It affects the way you engage the world. And then she's got head injuries on top of that. So her self-esteem is impacted. All of that's impacted. So she comes over here and starts trying to manage it herself. And, there are 2 things that are fundamental about all of us about what we can control in our lives from babies: what we take in and what we put out. That's why potty training is critical, and getting a child to eat. They don't want to eat. They just won't do it. So that's the first power a child has. It's what they take in and what and when they put out. And if they don't want mom to go out, they can be right there in the doorway and have an accident right when she's going out. And they go, stop, got to go back in. And that's their power. And so when they feel out of control, what's she do? She starts controlling those things that basically she can control, which is her intake and her food. And then they decided she was over that. She's not over that. She's walking 100,000 steps a day. And then binging it. You see she's eating big pieces of cake and pie and stuff at night. She's still binging. And then walking 100,000 steps a day. Did nobody notice that? This isn't over. I used to have an eating disorder. No, you didn't. You still have an eating disorder.